In this video we want to discuss managing diversity. Now Condola and Fullerton define diversity as follows. They say it's the basic concept of managing diversity accepts that the workforce consists of a diverse population of people consisting of visible and non-visible differences, and is founded on the premise that harnessing these differences will create a productive environment in which everyone feels valued, where all talents are fully utilized, and in which organizational goals are met. That's taken from Torrington's book. It's looking at differences and accommodating the differences and harnessing the abilities of people who have differences, harnessing that and utilizing the skills and talents and interests of those people, using them differently and deploying them within the organization in a way that will be to the advantage of the organization and also to the advantage of the workers who find themselves working in areas where they are comfortable. The concept of diversity is distinct from equal opportunities. Both approaches focus on achieving the best outcome for employees, however, adopt different methods for developing workplace equality. So, managing diversity must be distinguished from equal opportunities. Diversity is an approach it emphasizes that individuals should be treated differently and in accordance to their particular needs and circumstances. So individuals should not all be treated the same. They should be treated differently according to their requirements and to their abilities and their capabilities. It's a question of identifying skills and talents and interests, motivations within the workforce and harnessing those for the benefit of the organization and also for the benefit of the person, who will be more motivated, more interested, because they feel more comfortable at work. Equal opportunities believe that everyone should be treated the same, regardless of their protected characteristics, whatever those characteristics are. So equal opportunity treats everyone the same. It's a blanket covering for all people at work. It's equal opportunities. Whereas diversity looks at the differences and tries to reallocate staff according to the differences and according to their skills and abilities and motivations. And so diversity is doing it differently. It must be distinguished from equal opportunities. Managing diversity is part of an integrated culture where there is mutual respect for all individuals and opportunities for learning and development. Now, managing diversity it's an integrated culture. In other words, it looks at the organization as having a particular culture, but it recognizes within that there are going to be people who are culturally different, people who are educationally different, people who have got particular skills, who may have no education qualifications but have got particular talents and abilities. There are other people who are simply just very motivated and very interested. So there's a whole diverse range of people within the organization, and managing diversity is trying to get the most out of that diversity. Equal opportunities emphasize on treating everyone equal and avoiding discrimination. Equal opportunities is really focused on trying to avoid discrimination by treating everybody the same, treating everybody equally. All the individuals should have the same access to jobs regardless of their protected characteristics. So when work, particular jobs are required and when particular vacancies arise, then they should be made available to everyone. Equal opportunities. Diversity is looking at particular skills and abilities within the population recognizing that we are different. We have different capabilities, different backgrounds, different emphasis, different interests, and trying to harness that so that the organization benefits. The concept of diversity values individuals and understands that there are differences, such as personality, working and learning styles, individual needs and motivations. So this approach explicitly recognizes the differences and works towards accommodating the differences, but also perhaps benefiting from the differences. These factors do not correlate with equal opportunities, which focuses on gender, age and race equality, generally speaking. Equal opportunities is trying to avoid explicit, overt discrimination on the basis of gender or on age or on race. So it's trying to stop that sort of practice. Whereas diversity is looking at the skills and talents and the differences between people, and recognizing that people are different, and then trying to engage those people so that they will have more satisfaction from working, they'll have greater interest, more motivation, and the organization will benefit through better productivity, less absenteeism, more interest, perhaps better quality of the product. So, for example, offering specific training for certain groups of people may disadvantage other individuals who may have an interest in the training opportunities. So, with equal opportunities, training schemes should be offered to all, so as not to discriminate. But it also runs against the barrier that some people may not be interested. Some people haven't got that particular interest in that sort of development. Others may be very enthusiastic. So the managing diversity approach is recognizing the differences and using the differences constructively, whereas equal opportunities is the avoidance of overt discrimination simply on the basis of, say, gender or age or race. Now, managing diversity has become an important concept for best practice, and organizations embed diversity, such as acceptance of individuals' needs and differences. Well, people have individual needs and differences for all sorts of reasons. It may be cultural, it may be related to background or education, or it may be related to the community where they were brought up, or related to some aspect of their lives, and they will have differences. And managing diversity accepts that people will have these differences. But it may also mean that some people have particular talents because they have particular interests, and that may fit in with the requirements of the organization. Making available a range of communication methods for culturally diverse workforce. It could be people speak different languages. They're very good workers, but they just speak different languages. So accommodate the difference. Have some sort of translation service, or have instructions in different languages, so people clearly understand what's required of them. It's recognizing the differences, but in return the organization is getting a dedicated workforce who are interested and will apply themselves to completing the task. Working with employees to establish diverse family structures and responsibilities. When I say family here, we're really talking about the organization. We're talking about the groupings within the organization. We're talking about dependency. We're talking about perhaps the line manager being almost like a father figure, and or a mother figure indeed, Uh, we're talking here about the cascading down of responsibility. And those sort of structures, working with the employees to ensure that there is a clear delineation of responsibility and everyone knows exactly what's required of them. And indeed, some cultures who are very family orientated will understand these structures quite easily and will find it easy to work within those. They know what their responsibilities are, they know who they're reporting to, and they take it seriously. They take their engagement seriously because it fits exactly with their culture. There's also, it's necessary to recognize an aging workforce. For example, in the UK, we have an aging workforce. It's important that organisations understand this, and they understand that people as they get older will have different needs and requirements. They'll have different capability. They'll also have a lot more experience. They'll have done similar work or similar tasks in the past. They'll know the upsides and the downsides of the task. It's a question of the organisation making arrangements to accommodate these aging workers. Managing and encouraging career development and promotion prospects. Well, it's imperative that people have proper motivation at work, and part of that may be that they see themselves as capable of moving up the ladder, moving up and having some promotion perhaps. The promotion may require different sets of skills, and again, looking at individuals who have diverse skills, who have perhaps a range of skills, perhaps not ones that are easily recognizable within the overall workforce, perhaps ones which have to be examined in detail. Perhaps it would come out from a performance review exercise or detailed knowledge of a particular manager of his or her workforce. But within that, there may be people who will be identified who are ideally suitable for promotion. And that only happens if the workforce are treated as individuals and the organisation manages the diversity within the workforce. The opportunities for gaining skills and qualifications. As I said earlier, equal opportunities should ensure that these are made universally available, that there is no discrimination on the basis of gender or age or race. But also there's a case to be made that perhaps not all training should be available to everyone. There should be perhaps some understanding of the prerequisite skills that staff should have before they attempt to take on additional training. And that comes about through knowing the particular member of staff. Establishing cooperative working teams is a good idea because within the teams leadership characteristics will emerge. It may be obvious by monitoring the team who is making the decisions and who the rest of the team follow and take advice from, and who is particularly motivated to complete the task. As I said earlier, if we were to take the equal opportunity view of this, then everyone is the same and they would all have the same application and abilities. Of course, that's not the case. The case is that within any group, individuals will come to the front, and these are ones that the rest will trust and will be guided by and will turn to. So, working in teams may throw up individuals who are particularly suited for promotion and for perhaps future development. Let's contrast equal opportunities and managing diversity in a little more detail. Well, the purpose of each. Well, of equal opportunities, the purpose is to reduce discrimination. So the company cannot discriminate on the basis of gender, race, or age, let's say. Managing diversity, well, it utilizes employee potential to maximize advantage. Now, that could be maximize the advantage for the organization, but as I said, there's also the advantage of motivation and interest created in the employee, because he or she has been recognized as having these particular talents or skills. Now, the case argued, well, for equal opportunities, it's done on the basis of it's an ethical argument. It is wrong to discriminate. I think we could just put a full stop behind that and say that's an absolute. It is wrong to discriminate. There's no logical reason for discrimination. There is no advantage to anyone, to the organisation, certainly not to the victim of the discrimination, but there is no reason in logic that can support that. So there is an ethical reason to have equal opportunities. Managing diversity, well, we have that because it's profitable. It leads to the growth of the organisation. It leads to a more contented workforce, where jobs are tweaked to suit the particular talents and skills of the workers. And the workers are given some flexibility about how they go about their work and are trusted because they are seen as different to each other. The responsibility of implementing equal opportunities and managing diversity, well, the HR department takes on for equal opportunities. The HR department will ensure or try to ensure that there's no discrimination in the workplace. But in managing diversity, just about everyone's involved. All the managers are involved in monitoring and checking and talking to individuals and identifying particular skills and abilities and differences and looking at what can be done to further enhance productivity and enhance the job experience. Equal opportunities focuses in on groups. It takes the whole workforce. Let's say the employer should not discriminate on the basis of gender. So it's the whole group. It should not discriminate on the basis of race. The whole group. With managing diversity, it's individuals. It's looking at individuals and looking at their particular differences. The benefits for the employees. Well, for equal opportunities, there's improved opportunities for disadvantaged groups, because perhaps they had no opportunity in the past of looking for promotion or getting better terms in terms of employment contract or remuneration or whatever. But now, on the basis of equal opportunities, they have got that. They must be treated the same. They're doing the same job. They're producing perhaps the same output. So why be discriminated? It's exactly the same task as everyone else is doing. Managing diversity, well, the benefits there is that there's improved opportunities for all the employees. The employees can revel in their differences. They can be proud of their differences and can bring these to the attention of the management. The management can look at these, and perhaps it's to the advantage of the management, who will get greater productivity by addressing some issues, or greater stability in production or in the running of the business. Perhaps there are small adjustments that the organisation need to make. As I said earlier, perhaps doing translations, because people don't speak English. So then there needs some sort of translation. But we haven't got the translation. Their productivity will be enhanced. The focus of management activity in terms of equal opportunity is for recruitment. It's to say to potential employees that the company operates equal opportunities, and therefore when employees apply to join the company, they will be treated fairly. With managing diversity, it's looking at managing the workforce, looking at the differences in the workforce, and looking to manage the workforce for greater productivity and growth, but also more interest in work, perhaps better quality in terms of output, more pride in the job, simply because they are identified as having differences, which is what we've got. And in this case, it's accommodated. The remedies, well, changing systems and changing corporate culture practice. So it's to get these satisfactorily implemented, then there has to be a change of corporate culture. It has to be from the top down within organizations. Clearly, managing diversity is more time intensive and takes a greater effort on the part of management. But as I said earlier, there are big rewards to be had from it. Greater productivity, less absenteeism, greater stability in the workforce, a better community, a better spirit within the workforce, because the differences are recognised and accommodated. Equal opportunities is to ensure that no one is discriminated against on the basis of race, age, gender, and so on. So these are ideas related to equal opportunities and managing diversity. It's an important topic within the HR framework, and you should really take some time to try and do additional research through readings and make your own notes to illustrate the differences and understand clearly the differences between the two concepts. That's all we're going to do in this session. That's the reference I mentioned earlier, and let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.